What's up, you all? Equal here. That's not my intro. Anyway, we're here. We're here for the Season 1 team build of PGL. This week we're up against Serene Grace and the Chicago Shaymin-Sky, I do believe. And we are here. It's kind of a weird intro. I never know what to, how to roll off that. Like, how do you roll off the intro and just go straight towards the team builder? But anyway, it's week 1. I'm pretty excited for this. It's up against an opponent that I've never even talked to before. So that's fun. And I'm actually recording this on the day. It's a funny story. I'm really disorganized. So I made this team like a week ago. And that's all good and well. But I'm actually playing through Ultra Moon right now, trying to finish the game because I only have 14 Z crystals. And up until about 3 days ago, I only had 4. So I'm trying to play through the game as quick as I can. Thankfully, I won't have to go too far into the game. I don't actually have to get the Mega Ring this week because, as you can see, we're not bringing Megalopony. But it's whatever. I could have done it, but either way. So we're facing... I'm pretty sure it's Serene Grace. I'm 99% sure. Yeah, it is Serene Grace. For a split second there, I got so worried. But yeah, we're playing Serene Grace, and her team is pretty standard as far as teams go. Well, I'll go over my team first. So my complete roster is wrong on the sheet. Why is it wrong on the sheet? What the hell has gone on? Whose draft is this? Why is their draft over my draft? Hello? Okay, well, the sheet is having some issues right now, so I apologise. Anyway, my team, or my draft, is Excadrill, Megalopony, Sylveon, Salamence, Gigalith, Mesprit, Raichu, Keldeo, Darmanitan, Hooper, and Stoutland. That's regular Hooper. And her team is it right on the sheet? Okay, it is right on the sheet. I don't know why mine is not. Her team is Megalatios, Infernape, Togekiss, Forretress, Xurkitree, Manaphy, Drapion, Cryogonal, Gourgeist, Swampert, and Lycanroc Dust. Now, I don't know if I'm going to put all that on the screen right now. If it's there, it's up there. But if it's not, don't hate me, because I'm a busy college student and I got shit to do. God damn it. But anyway, her team's pretty standard. It's actually, you know, as far as the drafts go, because this season of the PGL has so many coaches and there are so many different Pokemon that you can choose from. All the good ones tend to get taken quite early. She's got a very balanced draft. It's very well. It's very good. So there's a couple really scary mons on there that I'm very worried about. Of course, Megalatios is. It's Megalatios. It's scary as all balls. So we have to watch out for that. Infernape. Infernape is really scary to me. Because it's fast and it's got such coverage and it's got good typing so that it can really punch holes in my team where I don't want it to. So I really have to watch out for that. Let's see what else is scary. Those are the main threats that I have. She's got Manaphy. I'm not sure if she's going to bring Manaphy, but we'll get onto that when we get onto that. And you know, obviously she's got decent hazard setup in the Swampert and the Forretress, and I suppose the Lycanroc Dusk, but I don't know if you normally run Stealth Rocks on Lycanroc Dusk. So yeah, there's a few things that I can pick out with her team. So number 1, she doesn't have any Pokemon above base 110 speed. So she has 2 base 110s, 1 base 108, 1 base 105, and 1 base 100. Those are the ones that I have to watch out for. I mean, obviously she has Togekiss, which is commonly Scarfed. She has Xurkitree, which is commonly Scarfed. But the actual naturally speedy mons aren't that fast. You know, Megalatios is good, but it has to run Dragon Dance to really outspeed things. Infernape, again, it's really got to be Scarfed, outspeed a lot of my things on my team. Manaphy is never ever Scarfed, so you don't have to worry about that being too fast. And what else is it? It's Cryogonal and Lycanroc, but Cryogonal's it's not an offensive Pokemon. Like I say, she's got hazards. Hazards are good. She's got that nice Fairy Steel Dragon core. But the Steel type, and this is noticeable, the Steel type is Forretress. as far as steel types go in your Fairy Steel Dragon Core, I don't think Forretress is a good one. Because Forretress just, like, dies to half the shit in the fucking game. Like, you can put Hidden Power Fire on anything and it'll die. So, that's something that I'm really not fussed about. So, the actual steel typing, for me, is really positive. Because I can run, like, steel coverage out the ass and, like, hit her super duper hard, and the only thing that she'll have to, like, take those hits is Forretress. So that's really good for me because Forretress can't do anything back, especially when my lead mon is Excadrill. I'm going to just quickly point out what I think she's bringing because it works better on my when I'm explaining the team. So I think she's going to bring the Infinite for sure. I think it's 100% making an appearance. I think probably Mega Latios, because it's League 1 and Mega Latios. It's Mega Latios, what are you going to do? Saying that, I think it's going to be a special Mega Latios. I don't think it's going to be Dragon Dance, which allows me to sort of run a little bit more house on my team. I think she's bringing Xurkitree. I think she's bringing Forretress. And I think she's bringing Swampert. I don't think that I will see the Togekiss, but if I do, I'm prepped for it. Did I say Togekiss? I might have said Togekiss. Togekiss is sort of up in arms. I'm prepped for the Togekiss if it comes. But I don't think she will, purely because of the sheer threat that Excadrill, like, poses to it. I don't think she's bringing Manaphy, and the reason that I don't think she's bringing Manaphy is because she has to bring Swampert. She absolutely has to bring Swampert, or my team is so much better. Like, compared to her, it's so much better, because Swampert completely walls my Excadrill, it completely walls my Gigalith, it completely walls my, well, it doesn't completely wall my Raichu, but it does, like, major, like, swap-ins to my Raichu, and it kind of walls my Salamence too. So if she doesn't bring Swampert, that's really, really good for me, but I think if she's smart, she'll bring it. I don't think she's too fussed about Cryogonal, purely because although my team is obviously, it's a sand team, so it's going to have hazards and it's going to have a rocker, it's Cryogonal, so it's an ice type, so it's not going to be too easy to swap in on rocks. And I think that's one of the main issues with her draft, is that it's kind of weak to rocks, and her defoggers being, well, not defoggers, but her hazard removal is Cryogonal, which is weak to rocks, Togekiss, which is weak to rocks, and Mega Latios, which you don't really want to, like, waste the space on defog on. So that opens up a whole branch of, like, possibilities for hazards for me. So I'm definitely bringing hazards this week. I figured that out very early on. And with the team that I think she's going to bring, I'm fairly confident that I'm going to see those 6 mons. So I can help work around that. So the first thing that I saw when I looked at that, I was like, okay, I need to bring Excadrill. Sandrush Excadrill destroys her team. It completely obliterates it. I think Xscissor is a... Ugh, if I remember this right, because I made this team a while ago. I think it's an 81.3% chance to OHKO a regular Mega Latios after rocks, which is very good. I'll take those odds. Obviously, Earthquake will kill the Infinite. Iron Head will kill the Togekiss. Forretress can't do shit to me because it's a Forretress. Earthquake will kill the Xurkitree. Manaphy's not coming. If it is, like, okay, I can deal with it, but if I don't think it's coming at all. Drapion dies to an Earthquake, Cryogonal dies to an Iron Head, and then we've got Gourgeist, Swampert, and Lycanroc. Well, Lycanroc dies to an Earthquake, but Gourgeist and Swampert have a little bit of more issues, but that's fine. So Excadrill just completely fucking destroys her team when it's in sand. So that's why I have Earthquake and Xscissor and Iron Head on there. For a fourth move, I was kind of debating on what to bring. I thought about a couple different moves. I thought about Shadow Claw for maybe the Gourgeist. But ultimately, I decided, in case she does bring hazards, because I think she's bringing the Forretress, I decided it's probably better if I bring Rapid Spin. My team isn't particularly weak to rocks. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. The only thing that is actually weak to rocks is Salamence, and everything else is either neutral or resists it. But it's nice to not have that chip damage, especially when you'll see the Salamence set. It's a lot better without that little extra chip damage, so it's good. But yeah, Excadrill is just, it destroys. So all I need to do pretty much is go in with Gigalith, set stand up, and then pull out the Excadrill. So naturally, if you have Excadrill, you've got to run Gigalith. It's going to be a Sandstream Smooth Rock holding Gigalith. I thought about Leftovers, but I ultimately decided against it. It wasn't really what I was looking for. So I got Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Toxic. And whereas this thing was naturally just a max attack, max speed set. This one is a max special D set and a max HP set. The reason that this is max special D and not a more physically invested variant is because of two things, or three things, I should say. Number one, Mega Latios. I'm 90% sure that thing is going to be special. I'm 90% sure because I don't think that having a physical Dragon Dance Mega Latios really works for her. Obviously, if it's got Dragon Dance setup, it can, maybe outspeed my Excadrill, but I don't think it works. It's too much setup, and I can just go into something, and those turns of setup are going to cost her because I have such offensive threats that if she spends the turn setting up, I'm going to kill her, or I'm going to do major damage. So it's really nice to have a special Latios against my team, one that naturally just has super duper high special attack and just hits hard. So that's why it's a special de-invested Gigalith. Also, Infernape. Infernape is a bit tricky to gauge the set. If I were her, personally, I would run it special to deal with Excadrill Gigalith. Obviously in Sand, your special D is raised by 1.5, only for rock types. But the way that I see it, Gigalith is naturally more physically defensive, so even naturally just base stats, I have max special D with a careful nature, and it doesn't even top the 130 defense. So I think it's much better for her to run special Infernape just to kill this thing early, because basically if she kills this thing, my Excadrill drops. It drops in its power because it just doesn't do enough work. It doesn't have enough speed to put in that much work. So if she kills the Gigalith, it's a lot better for her. So I would run special Infernape, and on top of that, Xurkitree and a Manaphy if she brings it. She's not going to bring it. She might bring it. But Manaphy, or Xurkitree in particular, because it's got such high special attack, it will also deal a lot to this thing with Energy Ball. So it makes more sense for me to run a special Gigalith. Just to deal with those threats. And her physical threats aren't really that physically threatening. Infernape is Infernape. But apart from that, her physical threats aren't... She doesn't really have that many. She has Gourgeist, which I don't think she's going to bring at all. Swampert, which she, I think, will bring. But Swampert doesn't... Swampert's a good counter to this thing, but Swampert doesn't, deal with half the other shit on my team. And Lycanroc, which doesn't deal with this thing unless it's got Earthquake, and even then Earthquake doesn't do that much damage because it's 130 defense, and it's not stab. So it just makes more sense to have a special de-invested Gigalith. So Stealth Rock is obviously there for has a setup. Earthquake is there because I want to hit things that I can't hit with Stone Edge, such as the Zerk. If I can catch that on the switch, that would be great. And the Infernape, I don't think it dies to a Stone Edge, but I think it dies to an Earthquake. And there was something else, Drapion. If she brings the Drapion, Earthquake will be nice for that. This thing has 135 base attack, just base, so it hits hard. And then Stone Edge is for stab, for the Togekiss, which I think is, she's got a 50-50% chance of bringing that. And, Cryogonal, if she wants to bring that, but also because of her Levitate Mega Latios, if I'm forced to stay in against that, Stone Edge may be able to scoop out some kills there. And then I was again decided on the last move. It was a toss-up between Explosion and Toxic, and I figured, hey, first of all, I don't want this thing to die, if I can avoid it. Second of all, this thing is too slow to get off an Explosion from low HP. With 25 speed and no Custap, we're slower than everything on our team, so it's not like we're going to get any chance to get off an Explosion anyway, unless we predict that we'll live a hit from something, so it's not really worth running Explosion, I think. I'd rather just be able to Toxic her potential sweepers, such as Mega Latios and Infernape and Zerk, if I needed Toxic Zerk, but I think I'd rather just go for Earthquake. But yeah, that's why we're running this Gigalith set. So next up, we have Raichu. Now I needed something just in case she wanted to bring the Manaphy. I needed something. But more than that, this also... I want her to get into the habit of swapping in her Swampert. Again, I am fairly certain that she's going to be bringing that Swampert because it really helps. It really helps against my team. So I needed, you know, some more grass coverage to really just solo in on that thing because it's such a threat to me. If she brings the Manaphy, that's fine. This thing, I think, either 1 or 2 hit KOs it. Well, it'll definitely 2 hit KO it. But mainly for the Swampert, that's why, like, we have Grass Knot for that. But Volt Switch is there. I was again tossing up between physical or special, physical or special, physical or special. I went for special just because it does a little bit of extra work. We don't have particularly great coverage. Obviously, Volt Switch, Fake Out, Thunderbolt, Grass Knot. You only have 3 typings there. 2 if you knock off Fake Out because it's not really, you know, there to deal damage. But you know what? Thunderbolt and Volt Switch, not only do they give me great coverage or great swapping options, but Thunderbolt actually does a hell of a lot of damage. Like, it'll deal major damage to the Infernape because the Infernape isn't particularly bulky. Togekiss is weak. Zerk is a threat, kind of, but we have Lightning Rod. Manaphy deals major work too. Drapion's kind of bulky, but it's not really. It's actually less bulky than Infernape, now that I look at it. Cryogonal she's not bringing, and then Gourgeist and Lycanroc is whatever. But essentially, all the heavy hitters that she has, I'll start to deal some decent damage to, except for that Mega Latios, but that's not this thing's problem. You know, Raichu is not here to deal with the Mega Latios, it's here to deal with other things. But it's a good, nice, offensive mon with lots of switch initiative, so that's mainly why I want it. Next up, we have Sylveon. Now, I knew that I wanted to bring it because it's good against the Mega Lat. I wasn't sure what set I wanted to bring, but ultimately, I went for a bulky one. Now, I hate Stall. I'm going to be honest, I don't like playing Stall, I don't like going up against Stall, but here I needed a defensive, or especially defensive Pokemon. Something a little bit more especially defensive than Gigalith. Her physical threats aren't that physically threatening, and when you count them in, count their typings, Infernape, it's not doing a hell of a lot to a Sylveon anyway, physically. Like, what's it going to do? Flare Blitz me? Actually, that might kill. Yeah, it's whatever. The Drapion, I really don't think she's bringing Drapion. If she brings Drapion, then fine. Like, if she brings Drapion, Excadrill will get a kill for free. Like, I don't think she's bringing Drapion. Swampert, it's Swampert. And then Gourgeist and Lycanroc, you know. This thing, it's much more better, especially defensively. And on top of that, you know, it's going to help take hits from the Xurkitree, the Latios, and the Togekiss. And be a really good dedicated switch into that. I know for a fact that Mega Latios does not get coverage to deal with Sylveon. It's like, main coverage is hidden powers. And with most special attacks set up, then that's fine with me. You can just run hidden power poison, hidden power steel, however much you like, and it's fine. So, clean set. Hyper Voice, Heal Bell, Wish Protect with max HP, max special D with a little bit of special attack, because defense isn't needed. Just nice and clean. There for cleric purposes. A little bit of offense, because it's naturally good special attack. But it's you know, it's not there to hit hard this week. It's there for cleric purposes. Because we need a bit of cleric. You know, if Gigalith gets worn down, which it will, and we want to keep the sand for Excadrill, that's good. Again, if Excadrill gets worn down, that's good, because we'll just wish protect on that. We got options, boys. We got options. Next up is Mesprit. This is a bit of a tricky one. So Mesprit gets the coverage for basically everything on her team. Energy Ball obviously deals with the Manaphy and the Swampert. Ice Beam is there for the Lati, the Togekiss, the Gourgeist if she brings it. Psychic is there for the Infernape, pretty much only the Infernape, and for Stab, and then U-Turn for Switch Initiative. Deals with everything that we need to deal with. And then I was thinking about it, because obviously that's a full offensive set, so I said, hey, let's just run max special attack, max speed, a little bit into attack, because U-Turn. And I didn't know what items to put on this thing, I had no idea, so I just went ahead and put on an Assault Vest, because YOLO. And, you know, she's got a better special attacking team than a physical attacking one, so YOLO. So that's the Mesprit. There's not a lot to say there, it's just a Mesprit. Nice and 4 attack, Assault Vest. as you do. Then next up we have Swampert, or Salamence, not Swampert. So this is sort of a late game sweeper, I think. I was struggling to think of a 6th Mon, and I thought about Megalopony, and I was like, okay, Megalopony's good, it's Warbreaker, it's got good speed, it doesn't do that well, you know. Infinite has Mach Punch, it's not going to kill a Megalatios in one hit, especially not with any dark coverage. Forretress will live a hit, you know, Togekiss can probably live a hit as well. It'll poke holes and it'll do a lot of damage, but it's not really the best. And I thought about Stoutland, but Stoutland pretty much does the same thing. I thought about Hooper, because Hooper's one of our Z captains, as is Elements. And I thought, you know, there's options. But I went for Salamence because I decided that having that late game sweeping potential probably a little bit better, and on top of that, her core offensive typings come down to Dragon Psychic and Latios, Firefighting and Infinite, which we resist. The Togekiss is the Togekiss, but we'll outspeed that. Xurkitree, which is electric, and Manaphy, which is water, which we resist all of those, apart from electric, which is neutral. So it's nice to switch in if we need it. And on top of that, you know, setting up and sweeping at the end of the game can go very well. And I think it will on her team, because her team is not that defensive. Like, if you take out all of the like more defensive mons that she's not going to bring, such as the Gorgeist and the Drapion, you know, she has base 100 in Manaphy and Latios. I don't think she's bringing the Manaphy, so that can go as well. And then you just have Swampert, which is actually base 90 defense, and Forretress, which is base 140, but Forretress doesn't do anything. So having a more, having a more dedicated swap in, hit one move, hit another move, kill. That's a nice thing to have for me. So obviously it's max attack, max speed, Jolly. It's Jolly because I wanted to run Adamant, but I think Adamant actually will lose to a Jolly Togekiss. So it's better to not. Plus, Jolly works better with Dragon Dance because if, you know, the Latios is max speed, then I think then we outspeed it, but I don't know if we outspeed it if we're +1 with Adamant's elements. It's weird calcs. And I don't know, maybe we outspeed an Adamant Infinite or something that's scarfed. Who knows? But yeah, Dragon Dance, Earthquake, Outrage, and Rock Slide. Rock Slide is there for the Togekiss. Earthquake is there for the Zerk, and various other things like the Infinite. And then Outrage is Outrage. Lumberry's there for confusion, but also because I think that she might try and Toxic this thing. As soon as she sees this thing come in, I think she's going to go into Forretress to try and wall the hit and Toxic. And if she does, then we're just going to Lumberry that up and deal with it. She'll either swap into Forretress or Togekiss, there's no two ways about it. And once we get rid of those, then Salamence will just poke. It'll just come up to her team and it'll go whoop, that thing's dead, and go whoop, that thing's dead, and it'll go whoop, and it'll just poke holes. So that's the team. There's a couple things that I should point out about this team. Number one, no knockoff. So obviously Raichu and Mesprit are our two knockoff users. Ultimately, I don't think it's worth it. I tend to use knockoff not just for the item, but also because I like to hit hard, and when her Psychic type is Megalatios, which is a Mega Pokemon, you're not going to hit that hard with knockoff. Infinite resists it, Togekiss resists it, Forretress we don't care about, it's leftovers, it's a Forretress. Xurkitree, I'd like to knock off the Scarf, but Xurkitree doesn't pose that much of a threat to our team, because if it is Scarf, and it is Scarf, first of all, if she's bringing it, I have 2 electric immunities in Excadrill and Raichu. Second, if it is Scarf, which is 99% sure that's what she would bring, it'd be nice to knock it off, but it's just going to get locked into one move, and we can work around that. So for example, the only 2 moves that I'm really worried about, Thunderbolt and Energy Ball. If it's Energy Ball, we swap in Salamence, or swap in Sylveon. If it's Thunderbolt, we swap in Raichu, or we swap in Excadrill. We have options for either one. Don't really want to knock off that Scarf. And plus, Earthquake from one of the 2 Earthquake Mons, or one of the, like, 4 Earthquake Mons, just kills. So, that's nice. What else? Yeah, I don't think she's bringing the Manaphy. I'm 99% sure she's not going to bring the Manaphy because the setup... I know it's one-turn setup, but in the stand, like, think about it this way, right? Say she has a Manaphy, and I have my Gigalith and my Excadrill left. The Manaphy's not a full health because it's got Rocks damage. She can't be Scarfed, because if she's Scarfed, then she can't Tail Glow. If she Tail Glows, swap in Gigalith, get the sand up, dead Gigalith. Then swap in Excadrill, we outspeed, Earthquake deals like 90% damage or something like that. Then we just come with Raichu and fake out, kill. Or we come with Raichu and Thunderbolt, kill. Doesn't matter. Springs the Manaphy, I am not worried at all. I'm much more worried about the Swampert. And I think that she needs the Swampert because it deals with my Sand Core. Water, Ground is very nice against Excadrill Gigalith, particularly against Gigalith. Gigalith is probably the one mon on her entire team, or Swampert's probably the one mon on her entire team that deals with Gigalith the best. Especially considering the set that I'm going to bring. Which obviously she doesn't know that, but it's whatever. So I think that she needs to bring the Swampert. Also, Hazards, if she wants to bring those, it's not a bad idea. And Toxic for the Gigalith as well. It's a good idea. So a nice bulky Swampert set won't do her bad. Forretress. I have to briefly touch on the Forretress because I don't have any fire coverage on my team. That's right. I'm not worried about the Forretress. I'm aware of what Forretress does. I know it can have Gyro Ball, and with such a speedy team, that can be an issue. But my team's not, like, it's a Forretress. I don't really need to do much about it, to be honest. Like, Raichu will kill with 2 Thunderbolts. Excadrill will probably kill with 2 Earthquakes. Like, what do I need to do about it? I don't think I need fire coverage for it. I don't think it's a priority, to be honest. I think it's fine. The actual Pokemon that I'm worried about, the only 2 Pokemon that I'm really worried about are the Latios and the Infinite. Togekiss kind of scary, Xurkitru's kind of scary, but the real ones are Latios, Infinite, and I have too many checks for each of those. Like, Infinite dies to Sand, Infinite dies to Sylveon, Infinite dies to Salamence. Simple. Latios will die to Salamence late game, Latios will die to Excadrill, Latios will die to Sylveon. So, I think we have a better matchup this week. I'm hoping that it goes well. I'm battling her in like 5 hours. Still need to get my team gen, still need to finish the game, but that's going to wrap up the team builder. If you guys think that I should have done something differently, let me know. I'm always open to set suggestions. But yeah, sweet. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to click the like button because it tells me that I'm doing a good job and that you guys want to see more. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So thank you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
It's so cold in my room, oh my god.